I might be a little early, a couple minutes. I think the signal is pretty good. Here. Everybody using any Verizon product around the area had trouble from St. John's all the way up into Sanders for 2 or 3 days. We had hardly any service. Mm. Oh, let me fix my chat filter that I almost forgot to do. If you guys come in, oh, good morning, Beth. I'm glad you're here. I don't have hardly any energy at all. There's 3 people already. Welcome, guys. Hours and hours and hours on the phone with Visible trying to get this straight. Hi, George and Tammy. So please use the 3 uppercase Qs to give me a topic or a question that you'd like me to focus on. Um, okay, it might be buffering. I can hear that the two-way radio in the house, somebody's talking on it. Somebody gave me a Baofeng radio the other day. So let me check my signal strength. It's low here, but maybe if I hold the phone in the other hand, let's see if that makes this. Oh yeah, that gives us more. Ooh, I almost dropped the phone. I didn't bring the tripod out. Catherine knows because I talked to her. Hi, Babs. I talked to Catherine this week. I have not been feeling well. Um, what's wrong, right? Um, it has been. I think it's an MS thing, but it's like a big part of my lower back, side, and hips just ache like freaking crazy ache. And I haven't been sleeping like last night. Shoot. I would say I maybe got 3 hours of sleep last night. So it's been like that for a while. And I don't know. I mean, I have an idea because I know when the weather changes, I go through some change of season weirdness sometimes. Yes, Baofeng's a good radio. Somebody gave me their old one so that I could have something else here in case of emergency, and I figured I'd, use it when I'm traveling too. Well, if I ever travel again, right? Um, so yeah, so I haven't been feeling really well, and the sleeping, but it's about this stress, strain. It's not a strain. It's not a muscle. So it's got to be like the MS stuff, okay? Now, I don't know the right term for it, but it feels like that whole section of my backside and hips, like from my waist down to the widest part of me, right? It just feels like somebody's pushing at me and as if they're digging their fingers in or something, like pushing me hard. And it just is painful. Anyways, it's weird. So, so what I chose to do, I'm wiggling the phone around a lot right now. But what I chose to do this morning was I remembered that in my cabin's first aid kit, not the kit I usually carry with me in the car, that I had a couple of back heat patches. And so I went ahead and I put the heat patch on about 4 o'clock this morning. And I have enough energy to be here with you because of that. So, hi, Donna Kay. What have I been eating and drinking? Yeah, I added some dairy into my diet. And I found things I didn't like. And you are correct, George and Tammy. It's possible that's affected it. Well, anyway, so I had that patch on until after I fed the cats. I can't tell you what time it was. 8 o'clock, 7:30, and I could feel it falling off. It was old, and I could feel it falling off. Oh wait, I got to turn the camera around. Do it fast and make this bigger. Can you see that? You missed him jumping up there, but that's karma. Anyway, so yeah, about 8ish, something like that. It was falling off because it was older. The glue on it probably wasn't that good, and I took it off. And just before I started what we're doing, I went and got this, which I've had for a long time, but I had this in the whoops, back to the cat TV. Um, I went to so yeah, this was in my the doTERRA thing was in my thing anyways. Yes, but boy, am I aware of that, George, right? Yeah, you getting that's karma. They got ground turkey this morning because I thought I was being smart buying ground turkey instead of all ground beef because I don't really like ground beef. Okay. And I guess you could still see him. Whoops, we're going to have a post in the way. There we go. I hope I'm not buffering. Oh, here he comes. Hey, Karma, how you doing? Karma doesn't like to be held. I'm going to turn the camera back around to me again. Anyways, Karma doesn't like to be held. He'll let me hold him. Wait, can I turn it? I can't. I don't want to mess up the. I'm probably making everything buffer. But he's down there on the floor, and I'm not sure if you can see him because I can't see what I'm showing you. But he came up on the porch to sit on the other side of the porch. Anyways, yeah. Um, so I okay. So the diet, my owies. So I started using this on my back just before I started the live, and so far that's helping a little bit. It doesn't make sense to me what it feels like because it's probably MS. Anyways, um, all right, let's see. So, well, thank you, Manny. This sweatshirt's probably gonna be too hot this morning, but it's what I'm doing. Um, oh, so what did I make the title? What did I say the title of this was? Left Behind and Whose Fault Is It? So now that that other problem was over with, and then I had a couple of down days, and then my body was just not cooperating. It could have been too much stress, right? But anyway, I thought I was going to get all these projects finished that I've been talking about for a couple of weeks, and they're not finished. And I'm not finished with the stone patio out back. I got 2 rows completed, and I saw a mistake in one of the blocks. Those 2 foot by 2 foot, 2.5 inch thick stone pieces weigh about 35 or 40 pounds. And so I've just been struggling with that. And the other day I said, you know what? Just stop. Wait until you feel better and then try it again. So I've stopped on that. I didn't do any more with the cat bed situation because we're still in an upswing with the weather. It's not too cold yet. But wow. it's, it's just been, yeah, I've just not been feeling well and had a tendency toward depression. Oh, we're getting visited by chaos. Here comes chaos. Hey, chaos. Now, chaos. Let's probably making it buffer. There you go. Chaos going over to sit with Karma. Chaos likes that other chair over there. Well, they both like that chair. Anyway, yeah, there they go. Whoa! Silly cat falling off the chair. Anyway, hopefully you guys can actually see some of those antics. All right, let me get back to this. Oops. Okay. So, I've been feeling like it's time to travel because it's fall, right? It's time when everybody starts heading out towards somewhere. I would have been making my plans for going to Sedona for Thanksgiving, or, oh my goodness, one of the cats went inside that little wood stove, but I didn't get it with the tail sticking out. Anyway, so, I'm feeling like everybody gets to go, but I can't. And whose fault is it, right? Yeah, it's nobody's. Really, that's kind of a statement that'll get people to come out. It's really not anybody's fault. But I'm so disappointed right now. Bug. So disappointed right now that it's been a year and a half. The pollen's high today, too, guys. It's been a year and a half since the engine blew. And it's been 4 or 5 months since Stan and I went up to get the tracker from Nevada and bring it back here. Stan has not even touched it, has not looked at it, has not taken the engines out of the boxes. I'm feeling like this is never going to happen. I don't know what to do. Um, and I think it's just on the heels of solving one problem, lets me have space in my brain for another problem. But it's like, at the same time, I don't really have a lot of money I can throw at the thing. Now I could. Let me I don't want to borrow money to fix the tracker because I'm trying to get out of debt for the third time. And I'm so close. I'm down to $1,800 is what's currently on that loan. And early next year, that should be all paid off. Um, but I have days when I don't feel good, and I'm like, well, how did I feel better when I felt some of this stuff and I was like on the road? And I know what it was. I would move locations. Um, the activities that I did when I was moving around, living in my vehicles, kept me a little more limber, a little more whatever. And be in one place. This stagnant stuff is challenging. But of course, I can't leave these beautiful kitties. I can't leave them all by themselves right now. They know they live here. I have a couple of overlander friends that are coming in October to visit here. My son and his wife will be coming. Hi, Miss Wendy. My son and his wife will be coming after Thanksgiving. I don't really want to be here. All hi, Miss Wendy. Wait a minute. I don't really want to be here, and yet I might not. Miss Wendy TV. While I'm showing you that, I hope. I held that in the wrong hand too long. I have to have it on this side. Lose you. So sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's get back up here a little bit. I'm seeing everybody saying hi to each other. I'm checking for uppercase Q things. Oh, Shadow Wolf, hi. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I can't see all the names very. Oh, and Leanna. Oh, Leanna, I need to check with you. Um, I need to see since you're a neighbor, I need to see if I can borrow your chimney brush. Anyways, I'll check with you later, but I just thought of it. Yeah, I can't see all the names. Hi, B. In MS, there's evidently I saw where I wonder if that's what is happening with that space on my back, but I don't know the answer. I don't know enough to give that a definite. Who's that? Donna K. Well, yes, the stones could be, but you know, I did them down there 3 years ago. I know, but yeah. Who's that? Beth? No. Shh. Uppercase Q. Just a good question from Tiny. Okay. Okay. Oh, hi from Sweden. I can't see the name. Is it Elsa? I think it's Elsa. I can't see it. There's a glare on the phone for me. But if you want to see my face in a little sun, because I'm on the porch in the shade. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so yeah, I feel left behind because everybody's starting to travel and go places. And even the friends that are traveling, many of them have skipped right by me this year and nobody came to visit yet. But I have a couple overlander friends who are in maybe Utah right now, and they're coming this way in October. And I've been invited. I might go to an event that's only an hour away from here with the Walmart tent that I have and Wendy and the blue car. Just because it's like about 45 minutes to an hour away from me. And a reasonable. So I might do that. It's called the Moon Landing, and it's put on by the Journal of Lost Time. They're a magazine based thing, organization, group of people, something, um, that tries to document the things that make people so happy that they lose track of time. So sometimes it's trips and stuff like that. I don't know a lot about the event. They evidently have had some problems in the past years, and I wasn't invited. Well, I was invited those past years, but I couldn't manage it, and so. But I might just because it's close. I might try to go, and if there's a problem, I'm so close to home, I'll just come home. Sorry about your name. You're a believer in the most powerful, but not the great one, huh? Not the great creator, eh? You get to do you, okay? And whatever your name is, or maybe you mean that different than I read it at first. Anyways, how about a quick trip down to Quartzsite or Yuma as I'm thinking of doing classes on solar, mechanical, and plumbing, but do real work. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think I saw all those cues. So, I am uncomfortable. Quartzsite is 6 hours away from me. I am uncomfortable going that far with the blue car because if something happened, even if I probably not if I blew a tire, but if I okay, I gotta turn the camera around for you guys again. This happens a lot. So, yeah, probably I'd be okay if I blew a tire because I have a good spare. But sometimes I get concerned about what if something else happens. And nothing's happened yet, but this is getting me by up here and allows me to get to the grocery store. So, who's that? Catherine? Oh, that's fine, Catherine. Understood. Anyway, so you're getting to see Wendy and Karma are poking around that tree. My trees aren't very tall. These are shaggy bark junipers here in Arizona. And I have a couple of tall trees, but not as tall as like Flagstaff. And so my animals aren't as big as they look. Wendy's about 9 pounds. Anyways, Jer, I thought of you this morning. I almost called you, but oh, I need to keep an eye on the battery. 31%. Okay. At 20% of the battery, I will go back inside so I can plug it in. I couldn't get it charged fast enough with the clouds this morning. So, yeah, yeah, that comment about left behind and whose fault is it? I just am feeling the fall moving around of all the nomads and van people and whatever else. And it's really nobody's fault, but man, am I anxious to either work on my tracker or make decisions to do something else because I'm concerned those $800 worth of tires are starting to go flat sitting out there. And, it got hot and it's dry rotting. And I did, because I have those rain guards on the windows, I did leave the windows cracked so the air can flow through, but still, the the stickers and stuff are falling off the ceiling. Can you see can you see karma inside that cement block? That's hilarious. Whoops. There you go. You can see that better. So this is Karma and Wendy are hunting. And I don't know where. I didn't see where Chaos went. But oops, I'm wiggling the phone too much. So, buena dias, Bernie. Yeah, that tree's pretty dry and is probably getting hollow in the bottom. But these animals do such a good job hunting that I'm not too worried right now about a rodent being in there because they will kill it. But that's so there you've had a little look at that. So what else is going on? Let's see. Oh no. I have a sore throat this morning a little bit, but I think it's the pollen and the fall stuff. Man, I heard lots of he was using a tractor nearby. But anyway, um, talk about today. The pain has been incredible. Um, and I'm not sure if the adding dairy in, I'd been doing so good with the real cream that's minimally processed from American Arrow down in St. John's. I'd been doing good with that in my coffee, but I think my coffee's not clean enough. And then I realized that I had been trying to drink the coffee Sonia sent me, and it has chicory in it because it's from New Orleans, and it was good. Um, but I kept getting a sore throat, and I couldn't figure out what that was about. And then looked it up. I'm allergic to chicory, so can't do that. Um, I don't know, and I've been doing a lot of thinking. Now I'm going to talk about something kind of weird, but because it just came into my mind. So I used to date a musician for a number of years. We lived together for a number of years. I don't know, I fudged on my beliefs to live with this guy. Anyway, I thought I was doing the right thing. It was so the wrong thing. It was very narcissistic. It wasn't the worst of all the abusive. So I was with this guy for a number of years, and he was a musician, and this was in Richmond, Virginia, and he was a good musician. He kept wanting to get together with all these famous people, and we would meet famous people. That's true. I played roadie for him a long time. He was a drummer. He cheated on me a lot. It was not good. And in the end, when I caught him, then it got ugly. It got real ugly. Anyway, but my point is all the P Diddy stuff in the news. Oh my goodness. I drove one time from New York City to LA for an hour and a half meeting for him to meet somebody in the music industry. I had my MR2. He was supposed to be he was supposed to be my boyfriend, but he was dating. I was so tired from the driving that when we got to his appointment, of course he didn't want me to go in. Um, I took a nap in the car while he was in doing the interview or whatever. And then he came out from that and gets in the car and just says, "So I'm hungry, let's go eat." And to him, to go eat meant go through a drive through. And then it was, "Okay, let's leave, let's go back." And I'm like, okay. So it was a whirlwind trip. It was horrible. So I didn't see LA. Wasn't like that. But and then one time after I moved to New York, still had the MR2, and then he lost my MR2 right after I had lost my job. Anyway, so I drove him to an appointment with P Diddy. All the P Diddy's just and found out about the other relationships with the other people involved was because one of his boyfriends screwed up and said something to me when he wasn't home. So that just all that stuff has had me like reminding me of all of these weird things that I went through. And, in the end of that relationship, he was a drummer. He threw a zildjian cymbal at me and then dragged me around by my hair for a while and then threatened to throw me out a window. Well, he actually was trying to. And he couldn't do it. And so I left. And that was the end of that. So, woo! So, anyways, okay, I haven't seen what's going on, but I saw somebody's having a problem, huh? Um, so I'm just saying that that stuff has been, kind of bringing memories up for me as well as how weird that was. Because that was not, I wasn't a part of that kind of lifestyle at all. I was raised so differently. Uh, yeah, the buffer, and I'm so sorry, guys. I moved my hand. That doesn't work. Okay, can't see what's going on here. All right. What is this 30-minute warning stuff? I'm just, I don't know what that is. Is that what you're wondering if I can see is the warning notification? I had somebody send me something from notification in an email. I think it's a scam thing if that's what we're talking about. And no, I'm not doing hate talk. I'm just saying this was an awkward situation and yeah. Anyway, so I think we're all right. I don't think it's real. We're not talking hate stuff. I'm just saying maybe because I used that name because that name is in the news right now. I don't know, but I'll stop talking about it. I mean, I was done anyways, but that was that was a weird thing to have your memories jogged about stuff like that I'm over that, but it was a long time ago and it was you know out of my thoughts, and all of a sudden bam, oh crap, yeah. So let's see. So whose fault is it? Nobody's fault. It's just what happened. Ah, okay. Okay. I don't know if I don't know. Um I have trouble seeing even some of the functions to control things from my side. So, check the yeah, 26. I think I'm going to aim toward inside and putting the plugging the battery in so we don't lose that. You guys have seen that. Oops, I don't have it on there. You guys have seen that, right? I like to have this on the back of my car. It's part of why I like four-wheel drives. Okay. No, I don't do hate. That's right. So, but I'm not sure that that's a real. Oh, can I plug the refrigerator back in yet? Here I am. Okay. 26. Did that plug in the battery? Not yet. Do this. Whoops, turn this thing off so it doesn't scream at me. All right, now is the, nope. Hit this till it lights up. Okay. Now the battery's charging again. So you guys are still here. And now if I was smart, I could maneuver the... Yeah, that's true. Mods can't. Yep. But I don't think I can... anybody can be stopped from... let's see. Let me hit this. It's delay. Blocked words. Community defaults. I'm reading what I'm looking at, guys. Participant mode is anyone. Message delay, there's none. Blocked words. We don't have any blocked words. That's what I thought. And community holds potentially inappropriate. I guess I could, Beth. Go like that. But then sometimes we've had some new people out here. Of course, probably not today anyways. New people. So anyways, what was that green thing on my phone? I never saw a green before. Oh. Oh. Okay. Good job. Good job, moderators. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. I don't want everything to thaw out while we're coming and going. So, all right. Was it under that button that I found? If it was, I can't go under this button. Nope, says start a poll. This button says what? Community moderation. Okay. So because it keeps scrolling and doing stuff, I just did that. People on my... That's all right. That's all right. Maybe I will just continue to do this. I didn't know the big channels did that. I mean, I kind of like to grow mine, but I need this stuff done here. You know what? It's freaking expensive. Pardon my freaking, right? But it's very expensive to have property in a cabin. It was different when I only came here and camped out, which was my entire idea until COVID hit. And then after COVID, it was like, well, okay, if the world goes to... So, maybe you guys are still here. So having a cabin and property and now the animals to protect it just cost so much more money. And yet engines blowing in vehicles or axles going out. So I had an axle in the old van went bad. Having to replace front ends in old vehicles. The constant old vehicle repairs is a whole thing. Signal. here. So now I'm feeling like, which who knows. I'll guys over here a little bit. Come on thing. I know I'm wiggling stuff, but I'm trying to put the tripod between a couple of cords. But anyways, so yeah, so it's not cheaper to have this stuff at all. Mary and I were discussing that because Mary got a place in New Mexico near her daughter. And it's so, she was frustrated as well with some of the things that she has to deal with. And just like me, I'm dealing with my body and I'm dealing with my, the things that need to be done so that this is improved enough so it's reasonable for, and I mean, I'm tired sometimes, and it's like, how much more can I do? And how much more can I do on this much money? And then, like, I have enough bars of signal on my phone and enough battery that we should not be having trouble with all this scrolling. So, well, anyways, I've kind of updated you guys. Yeah, I've been tired, my back. Yeah, I've been tired, my back. And my back, it's just been this wide space, about this big a space on my lower back from about my waist down, around like that. Not all the way around the side, but like, and it feels like it's being pushed or it's tight or, yeah, it almost feels like somebody's hugging me in the wrong place, but it hurts. So that's a whole thing. Yeah, I know. I've lost like everybody today. You know what? I don't feel like doing much more. Anybody who's still here, do you guys want to keep going? Do you want to stop? Do you have something you want to talk about? And was it last week that we had the guys that every time I put my hand on my head, they were, "What's wrong with your head? What's?" And the funny thing was, I accidentally smacked myself in the head 2 weeks ago, like right here. And it's only been a few days that it stopped hurting. For one, oh, okay, KT. That's a vote for keep going. Okay. Me too. But I know some of this is stress. And stress for people with MS is not always it's not a good thing. So, so, I miss being able to come down and hang out with you guys. If I could come down for a couple of weeks and visit, I would. But I don't see how I can do that. If it changes, I'll let you know. But it's it's hard for me to let go of that idea too, because it's been a lot of my life. I'm not only a snowbird, but it's a good time to go because sometimes you don't want to be in a place where the weather's not good. Before, so that's just catching up. Okay, it doesn't mean it doesn't. We in this area had such a hard time with Verizon for about 2 days. Real hard time. Anyways. Oh, that's nice, KT. Yeah, I live alone too, so overcome. Oh, thank you. Okay. I hope you're gonna feel better. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'll feel better. I'm pretty sure if I would, I don't know. I keep thinking about should I be exercising? In quotes. And yet, I'm not an exercise person. But, if I got somewhere to walk, let me walk. Um, yeah, Donna Kay. I think that's what's happening to me. Is a lot of days I don't feel good, and maybe it's temporary and my MS is kicking my butt. And because I've always pushed myself really hard and I've worked really hard. Those stones, 3 years ago, I did half the floor one day. Whoa, hang on. You're so good at you're so good at pawing at the edge of the door, aren't you? To let me know that you want to come in. Okay. And Beth, I see you really had texted me. I figured you had, but this phone wasn't even on because the battery had died last night. Hey, hi Mary. How are you? I'm so glad you missed all the troll drama that happened this morning. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Donna Kay. I think that my not feeling good is a temporary thing and that I'm pushing myself a little too hard. But I've always struggled with how to relax. Well, I say that always. Come here, baby. Come here. Mommy's working on the phone. Come here, please. Yeah, you want to come up and sit with mommy? Um, they're in their video and their dog, and they did the same thing. That it just became easier to feed the dog the meat or cooked meat, depending on the situation. But to feed the dog the meat, and the dog stops eating the dry food, which Wendy stopped doing, and then they got so she went out the back door. They got so they ate until they were full, and then they're like kind of a round dog. And I'm like, Wendy has put on a couple of pounds with her eating meat. But I bet that just like human beings, we probably put on some to heal up stuff, and then we get down to some normal weight at some point. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. Mary, are you still up in Maine? Well, you don't have to tell us, but I know you were in Maine, and I know you had family stuff up there too. So I hope you're having a good trip. We don't have to talk about that a whole lot, but I hope you're having a good trip. These blue jays that are at my house right now, they're eating the cat food. I can't afford to feed them. Um, yeah, and the stuff we're going through, it's whatever. It's a little bit minor. Um, I mean, I know my stuff will improve. I just don't know when. And sometimes you want. I think other people do this too. I mean, I've been alone a long, long time, but sometimes I'd like that hug. I'd like that other person. You guys kind of do it for me, but I sometimes want that other person to say to me, hey, you got this, it's going to be okay. And you guys kind of give me that. I don't have much of that in person stuff. Um, and unfortunately, right now, I just feel a little disconnected from the guys at the shop and working on my tracker stuff. And that's another annoyance piece. But I think the reason it comes back up, well, it made me progress. And then, with my diet, trying the dairy because I'm officially not allergic, I found some things that work better for me. I can't up here, I can't get near kefir yet, or kefir, however people say it a couple different ways. Um, but the the so so we know that some of my allergens were healed, and I've had clarification on what I'm truly allergic to. So I was looking at something that I saw some other carnivores using as a, okay, those egg life wraps that some grocery stores carry. They were in Safeway when I was down in Holbrook a couple weeks ago. And I read the package and I was like, how do these other carnivores get away with eating those? Because there's guar gum in them. And then, same thing. How do other carnivores eat yogurt? Because commercial yogurt, even the good ones, has got pectin in it. And the pectin they're using these days, I'm allergic to. And I was just like, ah! So, but I found in the regular grocery store that's up near me, um, I found that I can get sour cream that has no weird ingredients. Cottage cheese, I'm not in love with cottage cheese. Never was. Okay. I spent 3 years doing, when I was a teenager, doing a whole lot of hard boiled eggs and cottage cheese. And, but, or and, uh, um, I tried a lactose-free milk because I was kind of afraid to try milk. But I was doing really good with just the cream. I don't like butter. That doesn't mean I can't cook with it, but I just don't like butter. And it's funny, I tried using butter with egg whites because I can't eat egg yolks, but I can eat egg whites. And so I've tested them too. I don't like them cooked in butter. It's gross. But if I cook them in tallow, I like it just fine. So, okay. So, how kind of weird, right? But so I found that I could do sour cream. I can do the cream. Like I said, I like the one down there. I can do Land O'Lakes half and half, because it's cleaner. And I tried hard Parmesan, like the kind you gotta grate. And I tried a couple other cheeses, but I don't know with cheese. Oh, Swiss cheese I felt good with, and Parmesan that you have to grate. It was, an expensive $8 chunk, right? Um, I I liked those two, and I didn't have any trouble with them. Other things I bloated and I wasn't comfortable, and so yes, of course, that could have affected how I was feeling, of course. But I did get some olive oil again. I tried that the other day when I did what? I think I was cooking a steak the other day. And I think I used the olive oil on that and I didn't react at all. But now that I've let go of coconut milk and coconut cream and coconut oil, I might have had a problem with coconut and didn't realize. Maybe it's only a sensitivity. So, uh, Liana, Both. The answer to do you make your own tallow or do you buy it? Both. So when I went shopping this very last grocery haul a few days ago, um, there was a package of lamb fat or mutton fat at the closest grocery. And it was a $2 package. And I bought it and I made a jar of tallow. So I have like a pint jar full of tallow. And of course, the cat's got some happy foods. And, you know, what else? I was trying to see how I did with like an increased fat content. So higher fat and lower protein, and still very little to no carbs. Now, and I'm saying very little to no because I've had a few spices, and I'll have, um, I do fine with blueberries. So when I want a treat, I'll get blueberries, a pack of blueberries, and I'll put them in sour cream and eat that. And so it's fat, it's creamy, because I can't buy any yogurt near me, and I haven't made my own yogurt yet or kefir. Anyways, let me see. Okay, bye, Mary. I see that you're going. How do you make tallow, Donna K? I see that. Let me see. I don't think I missed anything else, did I? Yeah, so how do you make tallow? So most of the things online or videos online that tell you how to make tallow will tell you that you need to use a crock pot. You have to do it a certain way, and you have to process it 3 or 4 times. You could do that, and you could follow their directions, and it will work. And it's pretty simple in an average modern standard American house situation where you have power and a sink and an easy way to wash dishes and things of that nature. Now, I'll tell you my way, but just remember, I'm out here, I'm cooking on wood, I have an open fire outside most of the time. But for doing tallow, I do it out on the fire pit. I do it in the inner pot of my 7-quart thermal pot. That's a pot that stays here at the cabin. But it's a 7-quart lid. And so I put a little bit of water in the bottom. And then I put the beef trimmings, beef, lamb, ruminant meat trimmings. Because I'm kosher, I don't do other stuff. I don't do other stuff. So you put that in the pot, put it on the fire. And it's okay in the beginning for the fire to be really, really strong and hot, and let it come to a boil. All the little pieces will float on the top, and then stir it, take a look at it. As the fire dies down, the stuff, dies down. But keep the fire under it on low, or put it on charcoal for a while. A couple hours doesn't hurt. If you want to do it all day long while you're doing something else, if it's cold and cool enough out, let the fire go for a while but keep it kind of low and slow. And then you have a choice. What I typically do is at one point, I'll pull out a spoonful of the stuff that's getting cooked to give to the animals. Okay. But, you can pour off the oil that forms. Now, if you're pouring it into a glass jar, be sure that the wind is not blowing at the side of the jar, because if the wind's blowing at the jar, it might crack. but you pour the hot liquid into a jar or a stainless steel container, right? Like a, well, they make nice bacon grease things, right? But anyways, I use a glass jar. Okay, but I watch where it is because I don't want to break the thing. And the cracklings don't all float to the top. Some of them sink to the bottom. So, but you can easily pour the clear liquid off. Now, some people take that clear liquid and then put more water in it and reboil it three times. I don't do it that many times. Now, I understand why they do it, okay? Because somebody's been told, or they weren't careful enough, or whatever. If you don't filter out enough of the pieces when you're pouring the liquid out. See, I only pour as much liquid as the jar I've got room for, okay? And so I'm using a pint jar. I didn't want to do a quart because of the way I use it and because of my refrigeration. So, yes, Catherine, I see that. And yes, that works. Heat the jar first. Yes, that works. Um, um, but you don't want the jar to be wet when you're putting the hot oil in it because it'll spatter. Anyway, so I just pour the clear liquid. I do filter mine, but sometimes I do it just through a paper coffee filter. So I filter it through a bandana. Okay, it's messy to clean afterwards, but I've done it. Um, and so just put it through a coffee filter as your funky stuff. You can even fry it a little more if it's not as much cooked as you'd like it to be. But I hope that's a good enough explanation. So I only do it once. Um, but the reason people do it three times is somebody lost a batch, it went sour because they didn't get all the little pieces out of it. And it's the pieces that could spoil if something was going to spoil. If they're not cooked hard enough and they're still in the liquid, then that would allow it to spoil. But once you got clear liquid, it's not spoiling. And then you put the lid on and just give it a little twist to tighten, just hand tight, and it will seal. I mean, it will can itself. It will, yeah, it will seal. And so you could just put that on the shelf in your root cellar or your storage. And I don't put it in my storage because my storage can is not insulated enough to be cool enough. In the summer, mine still gets hot. So there you go. And yeah, those cracklings and those crunchy bits of meat pieces, they are yummy. Salt them a little bit, share them with your pets. They're good. Do you want in? You can come in. And they're really good just to snack on. But if you put them in a baggie and put them in the refrigerator so they're cold, they're even good cold. Now, I don't prefer the lamb cracklings unless it's got a good chunk of meat on it. I don't like the mutton and lamb cracklings. I like the beef ones just fine. And the beef crunchy bits are so good. Yeah. So, now I did do chicken skins not long ago because I bought some chicken thighs not long ago and I didn't react to them, so that was kind of nice. But I took the skin off because I bought the ones with the skin, and I took the skin off the thighs and put the skin in a cast iron fry pan on the fire, on my little Kelly Kettle hobo stove, and crisp those up. They kind of blow up and then they're like a little potato chip. Those were nice. I really enjoyed those. A little bit of work, not horrible. Of course, if you've got air fryers, you can make that a whole other process. But I don't have power for an air fryer, and I'm not into that. Because if I had an air fryer, then I'd have to find the parchment paper things to go inside of it. Yeah. And to try to find parchment paper that doesn't have silicone on it, you remember it's me we're talking about here. So, Wendy, mommy's thirsty again. Well, my drink's outside. Yep. Yep. You looking outside? Did you get a drink of water? You have your water? Mm. So, yeah, so that's how I make tallow. And what I have right now is I don't have any in the house, but what I have right now is mutton tallow, lamb tallow, sheep tallow. That's what I've got right now. I wanna whip some and make lotion out of it, but for the moment I have lotion that a neighbor friend made, and it has coconut oil and stuff in it, and so I haven't reacted to it, but I still would like to end up with tallow um, lotion for the dry skin thing. Arizona's dry, you guys. Um, and y'all that are headed down to Quartzsite at the Roadrunner Market, the butcher down there, I introduced him to carnivore. He had a health issue similar to what I used to have, and we became really good friends. And if you ask him for beef fat drinks, he will just be kind to all the carnivores down there and only ask for the amount that you'd like. And you could get, you could tell him, I only want a handful, right? And ask him if he can make you a package that can be set aside for you when you come back in. And he'll do that for you. I didn't see any more messages. Yeah, I'm set, right? Okay, go back. Come on. There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, Miss Wendy's sitting on the floor. Oh, a whole flock of those jays just came after the bird. Oh, Mikio, or M in case I said it wrong. Um, I'm so glad you came out. How are things going with your tracker or sidekick? I forgot which one you have. Your Zuki. Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Working on that. The nights here have been in low 50s. We had one night was our coldest one so far. And on that roller coaster, it's a roller coaster ride until about the end of October. And then it'll be like, okay, now it's cold. And it'll stay. Yes, birds are omnivores. That's true. And so some of the dog food that Wendy won't eat, I put in there too. But I was mixing it with the bird seed that, so I buy chicken feed to give to the birds that are the most annoying, which are these birds. But right now, they found the cat food. And and the cats have been pretty good about cleaning their dish out. early in the morning before noontime. But there's still a little, yeah, there's still a little out there today. Well, that's because they got ground turkey. Because I bought these rolls of ground turkey. You guys know what that is, probably. Um, but years ago, I used to buy ground turkey from Walmart, and it was a different brand. This one, oh, it's nasty. Oh, yuck. And it was $2.99 a pound, and because none of the meat was on sale for anything lower than, I think the meat was, I think it was $5.99 a pound and up this week. And I watched the sales over there as well. But because of that, the only cheap stuff was pork, which I don't eat, or chicken drumsticks. And I just wasn't in the mood for chicken drumsticks. So I didn't buy chicken. So, but I bought this turkey and then I tried it and it's nasty. The frozen ground turkey at Walmart, I can get the breakfast sausage, and it actually is a good flavor, and it only has rosemary in it, and I don't react to it. So I do like to get that when I can. Um, I've been imagining that if I can get to where I have a coffee that I like, or I give it up completely, one of the two, um, and have the cream in it, and then when I want to have breakfast, have turkey sausage with egg whites. That just feels like a good morning thing. And then my other meal I usually have around 3 o'clock in the afternoon would be my chunk of meat meal. I almost bought a roast instead of buying the individual things, and it might have been a better idea. I just wasn't sure. And but anyways, that's that. Okay, that's that topic. That spiel. Miss Wendy, you so silly. I hope we get enough sun to keep the batteries going off. Get the battery packs charged back up. Check. I'm leaning over to check and see. Yeah, a notification came in and it interrupted the signal. Um, but anyways, I was telling you something. I forgot what I was telling you. Oh yes, Iris. Yeah. Um, Unfortunately, with all of my allergies, I just can't do anything that is packaged at all. I've got to cook my own stuff. I feel blessed that now I can have the sour cream, the cottage cheese if I want it, and the cream or half and half. Um, because even the heavy whipping cream in my grocery store, it's got carrageen in it, and I can't have that. But if you're a carnivore and you can buy a slab of roast beef or a slab of turkey and it works for you, go for it. But I can't. So, how's my garden coming along? Um, um, I really am not doing much with the garden right now, but that asparagus just freaking loves it here. So, uh, I might try to move some of the asparagus because I would like to have all of my stuff inside the yard fence. So I would like the garden inside the yard fence, and where that's growing is outside the fence. And but it's okay. I can find a place, and maybe this winter, you know. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, I know. I agree with you, Bernie. I feel like it's such a big blessing to find things that are going to be okay. And so, even and corn flour to storage barrel for winter things. Because if weather gets really bad and it's hard to get to the store, then I am not against doing the sourdough like I experimented with last winter because I didn't react to it. I do need to be careful with grains and things because of one of those allergies that I have, and processes. So I won't be doing sprouted breads. Would probably put me in the hospital. So we're not going to do that. But yeah, to be able to find that there's a cheese that could last a long time when the winter's bad, I could do the cheese, right? I could, if I can't get the meat, I could do something. So I think there's going to be a way to maneuver this better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for noticing that too, because that's the point I'm trying to get across. I mean, you got to do you, and your thing, your food, your health is going to be a little different from mine. But oh, sure, sure, you'll be seeing things about that. You know, once this back room is a little more that um and so when my son comes, I think he's going to do some more solar work or 250-watt panels. And so he's going to do that. And the first step with them is to make that be permanently mounted and safe cables down into that outdoor room. And then I want to build a cabinet that the batteries will live in when I'm here. And maybe they go with me when I leave. I don't know the answer. But, anyways, and on top of that, so it doesn't need to be very tall. But on top of that, I want to put an apartment, a garage size refrigerator, like a half size refrigerator. And on top of that, I want to put this little refrigerator I have and run it all the time as a freezer. And so that's the plan for part of what's out in that room, along with that new antique wood cook stove and the sink. And so, and then there'll be a table and chairs. Anyways, and then that will be a useful room year round. And this, this cabin is only 144 square feet. I can just leave the window open to that space and maybe the door too. And some of the heat will go out there as well. So the combination will work. But okay, see you later. Have a good week. So that's the plan. And yes, then at those points, of course, doing the videos of some of these things I know how to do, right? Because I know you guys would like to learn them. And I make my. Oh, okay. I'm glad, Donna K. That makes me feel better too. Because every time I think about maybe I'm not going to do it, I go, yeah, but other people need me too. So maybe if I go, I'll start to feel better. So I'm glad. Thank you for telling me it helped you too. That's wonderful. Yeah. So And then perhaps, depending on how my travel stuff can happen, but perhaps I can work this into, I have very small groups come for classes here. How cool would that be? And you get to camp in your own vehicles out here, or your tent, or whatever you want to do. And that, like my other friends, my overlander friends come, and they bring their big rigs, and they, do some of them do stuff to help me out while they're here. What was it? Melinda and Jason had fish. So, that those are blessings. Um, that's what I'm kind of thinking, that then I would want to handle smaller amounts of people, because, I did some things before and I don't want to repeat those. But it would be pretty simple to have, 4 or 5 people for a class, and we figure it out. What do you want to learn? You want to learn how to cook? You want to learn how to take care of your cast iron pan? Okay, fine. But that only takes one afternoon, so, whatever. Um, or you want to play with something you don't want to carry in your vehicle, or I don't know. But, you want to try out my titanium camp pots to see how, I mean, I don't mind these things. You want to learn how to work a wood cook stove. Mine is not a big one, but it would give you the basics once we get that rolling. So that's where I'm kind of, and I'm not talking about only cooking, but of course, like Bernie said, of course, the fact that I make my starter from scratch, I don't get starter from somebody, because I believe in doing the Deuteronomy 14, or from the Tanakh, which I do not remember the Hebrew words for that book and verse or whatever, but I believe in sticking to those Old Testament food laws, or Tanakh food laws, and because of that, I changed mine. I my $50 into this. Let's see, is that right? Let me do the math real fast. 35 for the. You know what? Be smart, Lesa. So the oh, when my phone updated this time, it gave me games. $35 for the barrel, $25 for the little chimney, and 12-ish dollars. Wait, yeah, no, it's gonna be more than 12. Let's call it 50. No, 12 and 6. 12 would be 18. Let's call it $18 for rebar. And let's say another $6 for hinges for the door. Yeah. Oh, that's expensive. I was going to say another $50. That looks like almost $84. I think it's going to be less than that for my smoker barrel. But anyways, I'm working on my smoker barrel. The guy already said he'd do it for me. But I know I need the extra parts. I don't have to have all the parts right at first. I need to do the barrel part first. Then my smoker barrel is a as well. It's a whole thing. But that'll be more ready. But yes, yeah. Yep. Oh, you can eat the sprouted Ezekiel breads. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't, because I'm allergic to malt. What I'm allergic to is the process of malting since I was out of the hospital. I'm afraid to right now. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be okay with homemade sauerkraut. But come on, part of what I'm been telling you about my food and my diet choices at the store. I cannot have any citric acid. I cannot have any xanthan gum. I cannot have any carrageen. And I cannot have guar gum. And I cannot have stevia. So you put all, those are a lot of things that are in a lot of foods these days. And so I can, though, I haven't had any in a while, but I just found out the buffering is awful and it's on my side too, yes. Um, I can evidently have, excuse me, monk fruit. Monk fruit is related to gourds and pumpkins and squashes. And I've had spaghetti squash successfully. So I will get some monk fruit to put in the barrel for when there's a want for something sweet. Yeah, yeah, the monk, the buffering has been horrible today. I agree with you. But my, if I put on do not disturb, I can't see your messages, which is annoying. Oh yeah, sauerkraut. Yeah, that's piece simple. Oh, KT, yeah. Yeah, and evidently the current citric acid is commercial citric acid is made from the black. Love you, hang in there. Well, we managed, even with all the buffering, we've gotten this far. Um, it's supposed to be, oh, it's up, it's 81 right now, so. And I am going to aim this way when I can afford to. Is for this achy back, who knows, MS thing. It affects me a lot in cold weather, more in cold weather than other times. And it takes hours. I feel like saying behind me, Satan, for all the scrolling. Anyways, plan is to get a small sheepskin, like a small, if I can afford it, or as soon as I can afford it. I also want to get a good linen sheet to sleep in so that my skin is touching linen. And so the combination of the linen and then that sheepskin under that part of my back that I have issues with sometimes, I think it will make a big difference. And so I've known since I was in maybe high school, junior high. I did the research on fabrics and what was the healthiest of the fabrics and why was one fabric used for one thing and not for another. And I have been trying to get, my whole life, I've been trying to get where I could afford to have linen pajamas or a linen nightgown or a linen sheet to freaking sleep in because I know it will help with the healing. Linen is the healthiest and most healing of all the fabrics. It's why. So yeah, so that's it. That's the thing. The scrolling. Okay, guys, are we getting done? I think we're, I think we're about done. Yes, There you go, Bernie. Yep. And I already told y'all I when I replace that jacket, the plan is to have a wool shirt. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You guys have a wonderful week. Pray for each other. Have a good week. Hang in there. You know, if I got it, you got it. Because I'm bad. I'm worse off sometimes. Um, but have a good week. Pray for each other. And next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Okay, that's a joke from the fact that TV